Hey, today I want to talk about why I think people should create their own thing. And I'm not saying you should always do this. I'm not saying every time you want to get into something like stand-up comedy, you have to just do it your own way. Because there's a reason that the conventional path is the conventional path. It's worked for a lot of people. But this is just where I'm at, and if you're hesitating to get into comedy, or you're hesitating to step out from just doing open mics to promoting your own shows or producing your own shows or whatever, maybe consider some of what I'm saying. The conventional route, for those of you that don't know, is generally find the comedy club in your city, go to the comedy club, do the open mic, find the little bar open mic after, do that, and you practice at open mics over and over and over until you think your jokes are good. And then you put together chunks. You're doing 4 or 5 minutes at a time, so you have your 4 or 5 minute set here, your 4 or 5 minute set here, you put them together, you got a 10-minute, and you just build and build and build on that. And then eventually you hope that somebody comes along and says, hey, you're really funny. You want to do this show with me? And then you do it. I don't think anybody is actually ready for step 2 of comedy until they've already been doing it for a while. And I would say the same is true with step 1. It's like having a kid. You can think you're ready, and then you actually start the process and you go, holy shit, I was not ready. You're never actually prepared, so it doesn't matter. So my thinking on this is, let's say you're at that part in your comedy where you've been doing open mics for 2 years and you've got put on like 5 or 6 little showcases, but there were only 10 people in the room and it was a noisy bar. Maybe try to figure out your own thing. And for me, that was Comedy Avenue. For me, that's where I'm sitting right now. My wife's using our living room, so I had to come here to do it. This isn't something everybody can do. I already owned a business, and I just converted the lobby to a comedy club so that I could practice a ton and put on good shows in a town. If I lived in a bigger city that had other stuff, like I'm in a town that has nothing, basically. So if I lived in a city like Oklahoma City or Tulsa or Dallas, I probably wouldn't have done this quite as quick, but I'd still eventually do it, and it's worked out great. And I think it's given me a huge advantage in learning to get better at stand-up. It's also taught me how to just eat shit all the time. It's not a foolproof method to getting great crowds and fun stage time and everything going smooth, but it's a great workout room. It's where I practice for the most part. And then when I go out of town, my shit's a lot sharper than if I was just doing open mics, because I get to try the 10 minutes, try the 15 minutes, try the 20 minutes, try an hour. I can do whatever I want. So if you're kind of going, man, I don't get booked on a lot of shows, and this and this and this, if you're writing a list of things that are holding you back from where you want to be in comedy, you should definitely consider maybe a smaller version of this. Maybe do what my friend Nick Campbell does. He's fantastic at this. He'll go to a dispensary or a comic book store or a winery or whatever, and just, if he sees a room he thinks he can make a good comedy room, he makes some kind of deal with them. And I mean, one of the showcases he does is great, and it's free. The audience comes in for free. I'm guessing the bar pays him. I didn't ask questions, but it's a great show, and because it's free and it's at a popular bar, tons of people come and they all sit down and pay attention. It's a great audience. Another show he does is at a winery. They have like a little tiny room off on the side of the winery that's basically, think of like a little party room that you would rent for a baby shower or something. I don't know if you have baby showers at wine places, but yeah, probably. But he uses that room and goes, hey, I'll promote a show. I don't know the money side of it, but you can ask people what they want to do and don't worry about the money. If you work with a place that's going, hey, yeah, we'd love to help you promote it and stuff, we can't pay you very much, so let's just split the ticket sales, even better, because now they'll actually help you promote it. You get an audience. So you could do that. You could create your own thing by going and, let's say your name is Tyler, and you want to practice hosting and you want to work on your 20-minute set. Well, you go to a place and you go, hey, I can host really good shows. I got a couple friends that are very funny comics. Those are the guys from the open mics that you're going to put on shows. You ask them a few questions, you see if you can figure it out. Maybe use ChatGPT if you're nervous about how to word it to help you figure out how to negotiate this. Get it going, and I guarantee you, you will love, even with all the work, you will love doing it way more than showing up to a show that is kind of poorly ran and confusing. And at the same time, I'm not saying don't do those too. If you can get on any show, get on that show. Another thing I don't like that a lot of people have done that I don't like it for me, I'm not saying don't do it, is the whole I'll book you if you book me thing, the quid pro quo of comedy booking. But if you want, let's say, I'll use myself as an example. I want to do a show in Tulsa, and I know a guy in Tulsa. I hit him up and I go, hey, I can put you on a show here. Could you put me on a show there? And if he says yes, we do a little exchange. He's funny. I hope I'm funny. We go back and forth. I get to do a show. But if you're Tyler and you want Tyler's Comedy Showcase, when you create it, you can go, hey, I'm interested in doing a show with you in Tulsa. I'm here in Lawton, and all I could get was a Pizza Hut. So no promises on it being good, but I can give you $30, which will cover your gas. And I'm going to work with Pizza Hut and see if they'll pay the comics, a total of, like, let's say you get 3 comics, $90. Go, hey, could you give us $100? And we'll do a free comedy show in the party room. It'll bring a lot of people here. They'll buy pizza. Hopefully, it will help your business. You could do it at any business. I'm just saying Pizza Hut. So you do that. You hit up the guy in Tulsa and you go, hey, do you want to come do my show with me and help me promote it and kind of teach me how you do your thing? Don't ask him to be on his show. Just get him on your show and then learn from him. And then have him come back in a few months. And then if you want to work that exchange out, that's fine. I just hate it when people aren't transparent about it and they go, well, I booked him. Why isn't you booking me? Who gives a shit? I book a lot of people. If everybody that I booked me on a show, I would be booked for 25 years. I mean, that not literally, but a lot. It'd be a lot. Like, I do the biggest variety of comics I possibly can, and we usually have a show every week, and I usually book 3 comics. So even with people coming back every couple months, that's at least 12 or 13 new people every month. That means I'd be doing 12 or 13 shows a month if everything was an exchange for you book me, I'll book you. Most of those people aren't booking shows. Most of those people are working really hard to just get good at comedy, and I think some of them don't know how good they would be at it, and I think some of them think it would be a distraction, and it might be right. But if you're in a smaller town that doesn't have comedy and you're complaining and going, I can't figure out how I'm going to do comedy because I live in, Bartlesville, Butthole, Indiana or whatever. Well, Bartlesville, Butthole, Indiana probably has like a vacant building downstairs or downtown that you could just find the landlord and go, hey, the power's still on there because you're on the same meter as the place next door. It's next to a coffee shop or something. Could I please give you $50 a night to use that twice a month to do a comedy showcase and do like a BYOB thing and do it for $10? And if you don't have money to promote with Facebook and Instagram and stuff like that, use flyers, like print, especially if you have a friend that works in an office, just be like, hey, could you run about 50 prints of this bitch for me? And then you got another friend. I mean, you could get flyers for almost free. So make a flyer on your phone, print that bitch off, go around town, stick them on telephone poles, talk to local businesses and go, hey, if you'll let me put this in your window, I'll give you 2 free tickets. Here's the trick. Who gives a shit about the free tickets? Because we just want butts and seats. You're not trying to make money. You probably have a job. If you are just getting into comedy and you're trying to make money, I think you're crazy, but tell me how you did it, because I'd love to hear. But it could apply to anything. I mean, people all the time go, well, there's nowhere to have fun where I live. Well, make some fucking fun. Do whatever it is that means you can have fun in your town. If that means fucking getting an old warehouse that you can barely afford to lease, but you move into it and then you put up a bunch of fucking walls and you make it a paintball place or an airsoft place, do that. That's fun as shit. Also, people need to get to shoot each other without killing each other. It's fun to shoot your friend in the dick. Trust me, you're up here, he's got his little fucking army uniform with his vest and his paintball mask and shit on, and he pops up and he thinks you're gonna hit him in the head, and you drop down on the side and you go pop, pop, right in the pecker. It's pretty fun. So you can do that. Shoot him in the pecker. That's what my son said when he was like 3. I said, what do you do when you see a bad guy? He said, shoot him in the pecker. And I was like, that's pretty good. I agree with you, actually. But yeah, this doesn't have to be about comedy. If you just want to create your own thing, just fucking create your own thing. You don't have to listen to people. You don't have to wait for somebody to say yes. You don't have to ask permission. You don't have to do it the way that it's supposed to be done. You don't have to follow tradition. I mean, some of the best comics out there did everything the right way and followed tradition. Some of the best musicians, same thing. And then some of the best people in the same categories didn't do anything conventional at all. I mean, I don't know the whole story, but I'm pretty sure Dave Chappelle had a little speaker and plugged it up in public parks and just did jokes at like 14 years old, just started doing jokes in a park for people walking by because that's what he could do. That's, hey, I can get a hold of this speaker, I have enough money to get the speaker, or I can borrow this speaker, or my friend has a speaker, and if I let him borrow my bike or something, whatever he had to do it, he made it work, and now he's Dave Chappelle. I mean, you don't have to get into a comedy club to do comedy. I've actually found a lot of people really like going to places that are not comedy clubs, and sometimes if it's like a bar, or especially if it's like a bar and grill place that serves food, and the people are regulars of that place, and they see a flyer and they go, oh, we love their pizza, we love their beer, we had no plans Thursday night, and Thursday night they're having open mic night. Look at that. And open mic night, you don't have to fucking book people. You just text everybody that you know from open mics. You still go to the open mics. Never don't go to the open mics. Open mics is good. But you go to the open mics, you maybe print up like a little thing on just a regular sheet of paper that has a text here for more information, or this is what it is. Make a mini flyer and just go, hey, I'm running an open mic at the brewery. Boom, 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 boom. Give people shit. And then you now get to do however much time you want on stage. If you're new, I recommend 5 minutes. And then you get to do like a half, like one joke or something between a few comics. That's how I started doing it before it was Comedy Avenue. It was Comedy at 32, my other shop. And I just started an open mic, and I hosted it, and I do like 5 minutes off the top, and I did okay, not great. I probably wouldn't want to watch the video of it today. And then I would introduce a comic, and then I would just kind of riff on what they'd be like, hey, that dude was talking about how the billboard has Narcan on it right above here. You know what's funny about Narcan? And whatever. Try new jokes, piggybacking off of jokes. Work with your friends. And now I'm not saying steal their whole idea and then try to make it better or whatever, but last night would be a great example. We had a show here. The girl that went up first was hilarious. I mean, one of the best comics I've seen in a couple years. And her name is Dana Boucher. She's from Louisiana. Fantastic. You should look her up. But Dana had a joke about, and it's apparently a true story, about her husband who was sucking dick in public parks behind her back. Not literally, but, she'd be at work or something. He's over there gargling on a nice man's nuts at the park, probably on a merry-go-round. I didn't ask for details. I went up, and this is just my favorite thing as a host to do, and it'll help you grow as a comic. I grabbed the microphone, and I'm like, yeah, fun fact, Dana's only been doing comedy about a year. I actually met her before she was doing comedy. I met her through her husband, or ex-husband, I guess now. Not much. Got a pretty good laugh, kind of fun, and then I go, okay, that's funny. Now I can't turn that into a joke. I don't have anything there that's not, I'd have to use her joke, which would not be cool. But for that moment, it worked really good, and it gave me an opportunity to go, boom, boom, something in my head, say it, pow, got a laugh. That's a good skill to have. If you promote yourself for years, and you make your flyers, or in my case, you have your wife help you, but you make a bunch of flyers, you learn how to make a ticket link, you make an event on Facebook, you learn about things like Bands in Town, where it's a website you just put your shows on, and then they know upcoming shows, and they email people for you, and you get followers kind of like Instagram. Once you learn how to use all those things, if things work out for you really well in comedy, you'll have a fucking option to actually understand what the people are talking about and get ripped off less. Because somebody will show up. If you get really good and you start really selling some tickets, at some point in your life, somebody's going to show up and offer to take 10% for something. And they might be worth more than 10%. Or they might be worth 0%, and they might actually be fucking hurting you, but you still end up giving them 10% for a year or two, not realizing how much they fucked you up. So, in my opinion, and it's just my opinion, I'm just telling you what I do, it is always better if you can't figure out a way to break into an industry or break into a thing you want to do or create something that you want to create the way you're supposed to. Just fucking do it anyway. Just break the rules, do whatever. I'm not saying break the laws. because I don't want to get in trouble. But if you have to, who gives a shit? Do what you have to do your thing and make it fun. And if it's original and it's your idea and people love it, that's great. And if it doesn't work out great and people make fun of you, or it's a little embarrassing, or it flops or whatever, who gives a shit? They were too scared to try it. They were being little bitches. You did it. So if you do an open mic at a Pizza Hut and it flops, and you do it 3 times and nobody shows up, you just fucking eat pizza, okay? It's not that big of a deal. And sometimes you're just going to have to sit there and eat pizza. You're not going to get to do anything fun. But pizza's pretty good. So I don't know why you're not already out there doing whatever it is you want to do. But seriously, you're going to die. Go do it before you die. Have a good day.